Hello and welcome for Twin Peaks Season 3, The Return. We're up to part 5 now. I actually watched it earlier today because I had the day off, so lots of time to watch it. So obviously I left it until 3 p.m.
That when I watched mine.
Yeah, I saw the note of you. Oh, okay, I watched it. I'm like, oh, me too. It takes me about an hour and a half to watch it because I'm constantly stopping and starting it to take notes. Because I can't take notes.
It took me about 40 minutes because I skipped through some stuff that was
okay.
just dragging on.
There definitely some.
The whole show.
Can you even call yourselves a Twin Peaks fan?
Whoever said we were Twin Peaks
fan is a
fans.
stretch. Yeah.
Well, let's see how you feel at the end. Okay. I'll, as usual, I'm just going to go through. You guys got anything to say? Oh, actually, Katie, you said you had a front of episode review of this episode. So, okay, let's hear it.
Yeah. Could have been an email.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't actually know what you're referring to. But okay.
It was
Well, someone doesn't get
really
enough meeting requests.
Okay.
I have one thought that is not particularly related to the plot as well. Just imagine that you are a respected actor, Kyle MacLachlan, and you're told you should come back for this reboot of a series that made your career. And then at some point, noted producer or director or whatever the hell he is, David Lynch, says, by the way, you'll need to spend large parts of multiple episodes acting like a 3-year-old who needs to go to the toilet. Even when an attractive woman is trying to kiss you. You just shrug and agree and just go, fine.
I've got notes about that as well, actually.
Imagine that pitch.
I'm just so happy that they fit one of those moments into every single episode from now on. It's so exciting.
Also,
yep.
I thought Peggy Lipton had died before this.
It's probably
That's Norma, isn't it?
Yeah, Norma.
No, it's actually her. I googled it.
I thought she had as well, and I think I said she did, but no, she definitely didn't because she's in it.
Why you thought that,
she came on it, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I didn't."
You're like, she's back.
We can't trust you anymore, then.
I thought it was just Garth.
I was like staring at it, going, "I thought she died. Wow, was this the best casting ever?" And then I googled it, and I was like, "Never mind."
Okay,
we better stop talking about this because it sounds like Ben might have got something wrong. So let's just pretend it never happened.
Yep. I'll just edit that little part out so that nobody thinks I'm an idiot.
You'll have to go back and edit other videos, Ben.
Yeah.
When we spoke about this.
Totally do that all the time. Okay, I'm just going to start. So we open on Vegas, and we're basically back at the house that Dougie and Jade were in the Rancho Rosa estate. The two guys who were trying.
Are they in the Rancho Rosa estate? I didn't think they were.
The sex house.
Yeah,
I thought where his car is in the Rancho Rosa area.
but they're outside that house and can see his car, and they're on a phone call with the woman, and she's like, and there's like his car's still there, hasn't come out yet. So yeah.
Okay,
oh, you're not talking about Dougie and his
wife.
No. Dougie and the sex worker met in a house in Rancho Rosa.
Yeah.
I've specifically. So when I'm talking about the car that's parked outside the house, I'm always calling it Dougie's car because it technically is Dougie's car.
There's Doug Love or something on it.
Yeah, Doug Love.
Yeah, Dougie Love.
And Jade is the woman who was with him when he came back.
Yes.
When he vomited, let's say.
Yep.
Whatever the hell happened.
The old vomit return. Yep.
Oh, I'd have left that part out.
So we have learned her character name is Jade.
No, we learned in the first episode she was in.
Oh, okay. I didn't learn that.
No, I don't think you did. Really.
No.
Okay.
Some of us didn't pay attention, apparently.
What do you mean, Nelly?
Saying Jade at the start.
No, she's not in the start.
Oh, yeah, you so confused me. Okay, let's continue.
The house.
Okay. Yeah, we're just at the house. Okay, so these two dudes who were trying to kill Dougie before, just rolling past the house and on the phone with a woman, and she is a little bit worried, and they actually say she seems really worried.
She's got bruises on her face too.
We cut to her after the phone call, and she's very worried. But she looks like she's got like a BlackBerry or something in front of her, and she sends a message Argent 2, and then we see some device with 2 red lights on it, and it beeps. twice.
I just
Do we
caught up
need
to
to
where we are in the episode.
You mean the very beginning? Is that what you mean, Katie? This is like literally the first thing that happened.
Blacked out there for a while.
And then you said
She was
blackberry.
hoping we were
and I was like,
halfway through.
Do we need to explain what a BlackBerry is to our listeners?
That's so 2010.
yeah, they just have to suffer.
Yeah, it's those mobile devices that had full keyboards. Okay. Full physical keyboards. Okay. We cut to the morgue in Buckhorn, South Dakota, and they have that man's body that has no
headless
head.
body.
Yep. She says, sarcastically, that it took her a while to figure it out, but she thinks the cause of death might be that someone cut his head off. And then she talks about how she's still doing stand-up, and I'm like, I would attend this stand-up.
Morticians are known for
Somebody
dying.
has to.
She notes that whoever it was hadn't eaten for days, but she did find a ring in his stomach, and it says the inscription on the ring is "To Dougie with love, Janie E."
Is that his
I'm sure
wife's
that's not
name?
I
important.
thought it was to Debbie.
No, to Dougie with love, Janie E.
Oh,
Yeah, no
I
idea
thought
who
it
that is.
I-
Are you kidding? Yeah,
Janie.
Janie E is Cooper/Dougie's wife.
Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
was
You know,
presuming it was.
Jimmy Boy's parent.
Sunny Jim. Yep.
Was I supposed to remember her name?
Well, I
I don't
didn't.
even know what her name is.
I just
Oh.
Oh,
assumed.
it's obviously Janie E.
Had we ever heard her name?
I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't think so.
That rang a bell.
I don't think so.
I think we have. I'm not 100%. But
We
now,
probably did, but it's funny
Then
that
again-
you assume we know it just because you've probably been reading a wiki or something.
no, I don't read wikis on this show.
Also,
Dougie wouldn't have
I
said it
thought the ring-
because he wouldn't have heard it.
That's true.
So we probably haven't heard it.
You're right. You probably have not heard of it.
I thought the ring said to Debbie from JE. So this whole scene is a waste on me.
Wow.
I thought it was- I'm like, who are these
So where did
people?
you
This
think
is
it went?
so unrelated.
So Katie,
I don't know.
Katie was coming out of a fever dream in the beginning of the episode.
Luckily, this scene is slightly more related to the rest of the show than we thought.
yeah,
Than Katie thought.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, so it could have been a little longer than an email. Maybe it did need to be a meeting, I'm not sure.
We cut to Doppelkoop in prison. He's laying on his bed and he says, "And now food is coming." And then we hear a door open. One of the jail doors slide open, and we see someone walk down the corridor and put food on that little thing on his door, whatever they call it.
Did I mention
Right.
slowly?
Hatch.
So slowly.
Everything's slow.
There's definitely
It's a really fast
quite a
pace.
number of times in this episode where it was like, this could have been shorter, and even the way the episode
An
An
ended,
email.
Yeah.
He
the
just
way,
revels in it, though. He's just loving it. The whole season, he's loving it.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been 2 emails.
I reckon one email and a picture.
Yeah, but if he could have been an
Yeah.
animated GIF that described it all. Okay, so he washes his hands, and while looking in the small mirror, we see a flashback of Bob and Doppelkoop in the red room from the last episode of season 2, laughing, and it plays a bit longer. They repeat it a little bit. I don't know why.
I'm sorry, a little bit. They repeat it a lot.
Okay.
Everyone have a 3-minute nap and return.
And then
Yeah.
we see the scene of Cooper headbutting the mirror when we see that Bob is actually in the mirror. And then it cuts back to Doppelkoop, and he's looking at his reflection, and he says, "You're still with me. That's good."
It kind of had like a Bob overlay for a little bit.
Yeah. So I actually missed that. Thank you, because I was too busy typing. So I mean, are you guys? I guess he's just making sure Bob's still there, and he hasn't
Well,
been
wouldn't
pulled
he
back to
know?
the red
Because
room
he's
or whatever
in-
it is.
He's
Isn't
in
he
charge of the
Bob?
body.
I'm very
Yeah.
confused by that whole.
Okay, you
I
keep
mean, I'm confused by everything.
you keep mistaking that this is Bob. This is Doppelkoop with Bob.
No, this is the real Cooper.
Nope.
Dougie's not. Dougie
No,
was
the guy in the
made.
prison. The guy in the prison
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
is not
But the
Cooper.
guy in,
Yes, it is.
No,
It's Cooper's body.
no.
he just
It's a
doesn't have his
doppelganger
top.
of Coop.
It's a doppelganger of Coop. Don't you remember at the end of season 2 we saw the doppelganger of Cooper? That's why I've been calling him Doppelcoop, so that it's very clear that this is not Cooper.
Yeah,
No,
but
he was inhabited by Bob.
No.
so
I'm glad we're clearing this up now.
Leland
Yep.
wasn't Doppel Leland. He was Leland with Bob inside him.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we in the Red Room we did see Doppel Leland with the white eyes.
Yes.
But haven't seen it this episode, just to be clear. We saw it this season. We saw it at the end of the last season.
But if we're calling it Doppelcoop, he has normal eyes.
Yeah, because he's out in the real world. He's just he looks exactly like Cooper. The wide eye, the sort of milky eye thing effect that they did, I think was just a visual way for us to be able to distinguish this is not the actual person. This is their doppelganger.
You can only see that in the Red Room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
I don't agree with it.
It sort of seems to me, and I could be completely on the wrong track, I know. It sort of seems like he was doppeled out in the world while Cooper was in the Red Room. And then he was due to come back, but for whatever reason, he was able to stay. And so they're sort of both in the real world, but they're kind of split, or he's not at his full power or something. And I know you keep calling him Dougie, but in my head, that's almost like the real Coop, but he's only like a little bit back.
Yeah, he's like sort of.
So when I just to finish my thought,
real Coop as well.
Just to finish my thought, I think why he was in my mind, why he was saying when he was like, "Oh, I've still got Bob," is like he knows he's not his full self, but he thinks, "Oh, okay, I'm not my full self, but I've still got Bob."
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that could be completely wrong, but that's what I was
So
thinking.
you're suggesting, Ben, that there are actually 3 Coopers.
No.
One in the Red Room, one Doppel, and one Dougie.
Oh, sorry. So yes. So before everything happened, yes, definitely, yes. There were 3.
There are.
My theory is that Dougie is something.
Dougie is now Cooper.
Doppelcoop created 25 years ago somehow to try and make this world where he would have a place to escape to once they tried to drag him back. Anyway, we'll see.
No, I love this. I love the way you guys are thinking.
It's completely wrong, but it's very creative because we don't know what's going to happen.
No,
It is kind of Dougie that had a bit more fat on him, who was out living with the wife in the housing estate or thereabouts.
Mm.
It seems like Cooper's kind of swapped into his place, like he was supposed to be like a dummy or a.
Well, yeah, I agree with that part.
But he swapped
went
into
to the
that
Red Room and turned into the little ball thing.
Yeah, and do you remember that the one-armed man,
What?
Mike, I think his name was, said to him, "You were manufactured for a purpose, and that purpose has been fulfilled."
Yeah, so he's kind of done, and Cooper's kind of taken Dougie's spot out there, but he's not himself. He's only kind of a little bit come back.
Yeah,
and Doppel Coop, who's got Bob with him, is maybe not full power, but he's still out there.
I like the way you're thinking. Yeah,
that's my best approximation.
So Nelly, the being that has Bob is actually a doppelganger of Cooper, but it's not actually Bob. Bob is in him, but it's not. But it's actually just a doppelganger of Cooper.
Another shapeshifter.
The maths just doesn't add up then, because so you've got Doppelcoop, Dougie, and Cooper in the Red Room.
Yep.
But Cooper is now no longer in the Red Room.
That's right.
He's in Dougie.
He's not in Dougie.
No,
Dougie's
Dougie
gone.
they swapped spots essentially. Dougie
went to the Red Room, was told his time was done, and he's probably nothing.
He's gone now.
Into a tiny golden ball or whatever.
He's a silver ball or gold ball, little tiny ball.
Katie,
I will accept this.
Thank you.
I just
so who's going to tell Sonny Jim
as like a spirit place as opposed to there was real people in there. Like, so when Coop was stuck in there, to me that was just his actual soul stuck in there, and Bob's soul had taken over.
That's Coop, what I thought too.
Double Coop, evil Coop, Bob's body, Bob Coop, Coop Bob, whatever you call him.
I don't necessarily think that you're wrong. That's not how I took it, but I there's nothing that says that you're wrong and I'm right.
Yeah,
so
something like that. Yeah.
It's definitely open to interpretation.
So David Lynch is not going to explain it.
Yeah,
so.
unfortunately he's dead, so we can't get him on the phone.
There was nothing in the book, Sean. Nothing in the book.
No, but there's still 2 more books you can read if you would like to take it for the team.
Oh, look who's here, Gus. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Otherwise, this is going to be an hour and a half long episode. No, it's okay. It's okay, Nelly. I'm glad we covered that. We actually had a pretty good discussion there.
Yeah, it's better to talk about it than just talk about the scene by scene.
Yeah. Okay, so we cut back to Twin Peaks, and actually I mentioned that it isn't immediately clear that we're in Twin Peaks, but it is. And we see Mike, aka Snake. You guys recognized him, right?
What was he?
He was working in the office. No,
I did not know.
The one who rejected
that was Mike.
Job person. I was looking in that scene for someone that we were supposed to know.
And he was right in front of you.
And I was like, that kid. Kid. Yeah.
No, the kid is new.
I did not notice it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's embarrassing for him.
Yeah, I feel sorry for this guy. Like, actually, he's been in a lot of stuff, just saying.
Mike Snake hadn't been in it for a really long time.
He was in a lot of season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he was only in scenes with Nadine, which don't even get me started.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Okay, all right. So he calls Stephen in and basically berates him about a terrible job application. So the thing that I don't quite understand here, was he applying for a job or did he already work there? Because the way he was talking, I wasn't 100% sure about it. But later on, the way Stephen talks, I think that he was applying.
Yeah, you don't normally get actual useful feedback from someone who's rejected your application. But it sounds like it was maybe warranted that you call the guy in just to rip shreds to him, since he'd turned up super high with a crappy CV and apparently no intention of getting the job anyway.
Yeah.
He is the person we see later, right? I'm not going to spoil it.
In the car.
Later? Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I thought, but just wanted to talk.
So Stephen leaves and he's not so happy. I wouldn't be happy after receiving that sort of feedback either. We cut to Sheriff Truman and he's on the phone with Harry. Giving him a pep talk, and Lucy calls him on the intercom, telling him in a Lucy way that his wife's
She's nearly at the door.
Introducing my new least favorite character.
Oh, the shouty lady, yeah.
So Sheriff Truman's wife comes in and she's very upset about everything. And he seems very patient at her yelling at him. She ends there's a lot of stuff in the conversation, but she basically ends it saying, "You're impossible," and storms out. And he basically just sits.
I think her name was Debbie or Deborah, so I thought it was her.
Katie's putting all the pieces together, but someone's upended the jigsaw.
They're all the wrong pieces, but
I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cut to Cooper and family. Sonny Jim gets in the car, and while Janie E's standing there talking to him about how she's hid this money somewhere safe, and about how they got to make a phone call so that they can pay everything back.
You should definitely have that conversation out the front of your house. Where they
Yeah.
Can anyone hear me? This is where I hid it.
And honestly, if this was real life, they would have taken him to the hospital by now. He is not acting anywhere near remotely human.
Except that she says, "Oh, you're having one of your episodes again." So this is maybe something just
exactly. Yes.
Because he was manufactured, he would have days like that because he's not a real boy.
While she's talking to him or at him, really, because there's no interaction really. It's all one way. He looks at Sonny Jim in the car, who looks sort of depressed, and a tear rolls down his eye. And that's when she says, "You're acting very strange."
We're showing empathy.
Yeah. And she basically says, "Don't drink or gamble anymore." She then realizes, she's like, "Okay, I'll go to work then." And then she realizes, "Oh wait, where's your car?" By the way, okay, I'm gonna have to drive you. And she
really sure why he gets upset there though, like what that's alluding to, or is it just his humanity slowly coming back, or I don't know what.
Throughout
kind of
everything
in his eye.
It is.
And he was just
Las
staring
Vegas is in the
fixedly.
desert, right?
He hasn't blinked for 2 minutes, so.
Well, he doesn't know he should be blinking then. He needs someone to tell him.
But like Cooper never had kids or anything, right?
No.
So yeah, I just wasn't quite sure where what that was getting at.
But I guess
maybe he just
25
felt
years
for Sonny Jim because Sonny
before.
Jim didn't really look particularly pleased or very happy. You know, he sort of looked depressed.
But like 10 minutes beforehand, he was having a good time having breakfast with his dad.
Geez, kids
don't
have those
understand.
mood swings, don't they?
I didn't feel the tear was related to the kid. I can't say his name. His name is dumb. So
Sonny Jim.
Yeah.
Is that who you mean? Sonny Jim?
No, I refuse to say it. Yeah, he's dumb. I took it more to be like, just he was emotional because he's kind of like trapped himself.
Okay. All right, and Sonny Jim was just in his line of sight? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, I don't know.
It was just a directorial mistake.
But also,
Gotcha.
I thought Debbie
Maybe he just
than some random dude. So.
Maybe he just didn't really want to go to work.
Oh,
I mean,
we've all felt that.
It's just having a morning cry.
We've all had a bit of a cry about going to work that day, haven't we? Where was I? Back at Rancho Rosa Estate, and the two guys from the beginning of the episode are rolling past, just checking that he's not come out again. The car's still there. And after that, we see a black car playing really loud music roll past slowly, and the occupants are staring at Dougie's parked car. Very, very slow.
Utterly steal it with the music blaring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. No
People
one
won't notice.
Yeah.
we hadn't seen them before.
No,
they were different.
No, that's Debbie and Debbie and
J.E.
and friends.
J.E.
Yeah. We cut to a business district, and Janie is dropping Dougie off at work. And this is when she says, "Are you having an episode? One of your episodes?" And I think that this episode highlights that he is sort of impaired. Because everybody just sort of rolls with it.
Oh, you mean that it's normal for him?
That it's not just now. He's sort of been like this in the past, and everybody's just like, oh, well, that's just Dougie, you know.
I don't understand how he would be so gainfully employed then.
I did think the same thing. I thought, how the hell did he get this job?
Yeah, he would be.
Makes all sorts.
It might not be regular occurrence, but now it's a regular occurrence because he's not Dougie.
Doesn't stop him being hot, apparently.
Yeah, well.
Sometimes people hire people and then they have regrets, but there's powerful unions or just difficult HR.
I think you're thinking about Australia right now. We're talking about America. If they don't like someone, they fire them.
Thinking about Germany.
That too, yeah.
So yeah, Janie basically just eventually pushes him out of the car, and he doesn't close the door, and she gets the shits and reaches over and closes it behind him. Cooper just stands there admiring.
Also, sorry, she does really well. No trace of an Australian accent whatsoever.
Oh yeah, she's had loads of practice. So she was in Mulholland Drive, which is a David Lynch movie. Before this, a very good David Lynch movie, I should add. It won Oscars.
Heard it all before, Ben.
Mulholland Drive. I haven't seen it, but it is supposed to be a really good movie.
Yeah, it is a very good movie.
Twin Peaks is supposed to be quite good too.
Yeah, well, debatable.
Okay, guys.
Some episodes are great.
Are they? Maybe later ones.
Episodes I've liked.
How many episodes ago did they dangle James in front of us and we haven't seen him since?
That was the first.
Are you upset? You want him to come back and sing a song for you?
No, he's had a motorcycle accident. Maybe he can't play his guitar anymore, guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
What if Sonny Jim is actually James's kid with Dougie's?
This isn't dark, James. This isn't dark. James.
I think you did.
This isn't dark, Michael. But you were talking about James. I'm so confused.
Someone was asking me about James the other day. Who was it? Oh, it was Matt. Matt Powell. Oh, sorry, you don't know Matt, but anyway.
I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, they were asking us.
Moving on.
Sorry, Ben.
Yep.
Hi, Matt, if you're watching.
Yep. Like, comment, subscribe. Cooper admires the statue of a cowboy pointing a gun, and so this
is a cowboy, right?
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that
it was like a regular human on the streets.
Yeah. It looks like chocolate for a bit too.
Yeah, it's a copper/bronze. It's definitely bronze. Sorry, not copper.
Pretty terrible casting, but anyway.
A lot of the things that Cooper stops and does are like hints of memories that he has from his former life.
Shooting a gun.
Yeah. And later on, someone says agent, and he's like, "Oh, agent," and obviously loves his coffee, which we're going to cover now.
Oh gosh, please take the fort, Michael.
So yes, we will. I'll hand it over to you in a second, Michael. So Cooper enters a building, and the whole time I was thinking, thank God he entered the right building. He's standing in the foyer, and people are just walking by him, and eventually someone with a stack of coffee cups recognizes him and corrals him to the lift. Oh, actually, it's more like he sees the coffee and follows this guy to the lift. But okay, go, Michael.
That's all right. We've all seen it. Obviously, they know of the same not trope, but the same thing where coffee cups aren't full when they're shot because they are just sort of taking the piss, really.
Yep.
He's sort of swinging them all over the place. He's got them on an angle like this. Tapping.
I don't think I could carry 8 cups of coffee.
That's heavy.
No, and he does it with one hand at one point, John. One hand.
I don't think I could balance them well enough. They're heavy.
They are, especially that size.
But I do have a problem with his coffee order. He's ordered coffee for Frank, who never has coffee, never usually drinks.
Oh, yes.
But just as a spare, just in case,
a matcha latte.
He orders a green tea latte.
Green tea latte.
Like that was his backup in case anyone extra wanted a coffee.
And the dude likes it.
Yeah, Nelly, you were right. Matcha is green tea, so you're all good.
I believe there's a difference, Ben. Matcha is green and a tea, but it is not green tea.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I don't like either of them.
Flavored.
Thank you for the correction.
I believe it's from the Camellia sinensis plant, but
all right. Yeah, all right. Thanks, John. I've got a comment here. These are very clearly empty.
Yeah.
While in the lift, Cooper is very focused on the coffee, and at first he's actually facing the back wall, and when he's in the lift, he's always facing the opposite direction to everybody else.
Yeah, Michael said something about how he was facing the wrong way, and I was thinking about it today, like on my way home from work, I'm cycling home, and I'm like, I normally face people when I'm in the lift. Like, that seems like a normal thing at my place of work, that people look at each other.
If I had people to talk to...
Everyone else stands towards the door, and you face the other way.
It's strange.
Most people didn't do that.
Yeah, no. It's very strange. But that happens when he's leaving. So while in the lift, Cooper's very focused on the coffee and is eventually given one that belonged to someone else. I think it was Frank, you said.
Frank.
Yeah, it was Frank's, yeah.
They arrive, and it appears Cooper works for a company called Lucky 7 Insurance. Someone comes up. Oh, and the whole... When he's going in, someone in the lift sits down in reception and starts talking to someone. They've both got coffees, and he becomes fixated on their coffees. And the
good news is that whatever's happening to Dougie, he deserves it if he was an insurance agent.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead now. I hope you're happy.
And at this agency too, Sean, I feel this.
So Dougie gets corralled into a conference room, and we see a bunch of people at the table. There's one guy's trying to chat up a woman. He's like, "Oh, did you get my note?" And she tells him, "Talk to your wife," which I just love that line so much. Frank sees Cooper drinking his coffee and begrudgingly... Oh, sorry, I missed this part. So before they go into the conference, or as they're going into the conference room, a guy comes up behind Cooper and basically puts his arm around him. Says, "Oh, how was your bender?" You know, and just whispers to him, "I covered you, so you owe me." And then he mentions, "Oh, were you in like a sauna or a steam room or something?" As in a reflection of that he's lost weight. Some people are noticing things, okay?
What I noticed was that they both have old man syndrome. I'm going to dye my hair, so it looks like everyone can tell that my hair is dyed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't. You do not suffer from this delusion, Ben.
I did not notice this.
So they all sit down in the meeting and eventually Cooper gets sat down, and it's all just insurance bullshit. One of the guys opposite the guy who talked to him before about how he'd covered for him is talking about some insurance claim and about how they're going to have to pay it out. And Cooper sees the sort of flashing light on the guy's face and just says he's lying. And everyone's just like, what? So I suspect that this outburst from Cooper is unlike him. He wouldn't say that sort of thing. And
then he just stares off in his face.
Afterwards, so his boss says he wants to talk to him after the meeting. So after that, Dougie gets corralled into the meeting, and there was this moment where the two people who brought him into the meeting, the boss is like, close the door, and so they close the door, but they're still in. He says, on your way out.
On your way out.
It's like, seriously.
It was a weird door too. It was like hinged a third of the way up the door.
I think that this guy is the male Lucy for this insurance company because he's just so weird.
Dougie?
No, the guy who had all the coffees, the coffee guy.
Oh, the coffee guy.
Yeah. He has a meeting with his boss, and his boss is annoyed that he'd said that other guy was lying, and gives him a bunch of work, and so basically says your job depends on what you come back with. Next shot, we see him busting for the loo, and the case files are just on the floor next to him. Someone sees him and escorts him to the toilet, and it's the woman that the guy was flirting with before, and she flirts with Cooper. For me, that's just like...
I just say, there's nothing sexier than a dude who is about to wet his pants in a hallway.
Yeah.
And acting like a 3-year-old child.
Holding himself.
I'll keep that in mind, Katie.
Yeah, you keep it in mind, man. It's very hot.
Maybe she forgot about Janie waiting at home.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, oh, don't you remember he's got a wife as well? Don't you want to tell him to talk to his wife? Well, actually, I wouldn't mind if he talked to his wife. Can you please just do any talking to her?
Just letting everybody know farts is Ben's love language.
Oh,
hello?
That's right. There was a fart. Yes. And she sort of smiled and laughed. And I'm like, this is the perfect woman. Because I'm an expert on women. Okay, so we cut to...
what are they called, Ben?
Pardon?
What are boobs called, Ben?
Breasts. We all know they're called breasts, right? Although there was someone actually said tits in this episode. I think it was Stephen to Becky. Anyway, it's later on.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. We cut to the security room.
I remember.
Yeah, we cut to the security room of the casino, and Mr. Todd tells the bearded guy, who's apparently running the casino, that the owners are on their way up, and the owners are two people who are quite well-known actors. One is James Belushi, and the other one is a guy... Yeah.
Oh, I didn't recognize him. Anyway, yeah.
The other guy was in Prison Break and a bunch of other stuff, but I know him originally
was
from
the guy
Prison
from
Break.
Prison Break. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just looked
I
rough.
thought he was from them. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've also got these 3 women dressed up in these pink outfits.
Just to give us something to look at.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to look at the...
It's very strange. Very, very strange.
David Lynch's
Yeah.
amusement, I guess.
Oh, because he just wanted to see women dressed up in very revealing dresses, probably.
Okay, so they beat up the bearded guy, kick him out, fire him, and tell Mr. Todd he's the new boss. And those, sorry, go.
This is how I thought they were going to treat
Dougie.
Cooper when they brought him into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that is the scene I was expecting when they were giving him his winnings. I thought they were going to say he's cheating, so I wasn't surprised to see this kind of...
Well, they do sort of set the expectation that is a possibility for Cooper if he comes back to the casino now, because at the end of the scene, they show that they can see very clear security footage of Cooper and that they know who he is. And they tell Mr. Todd, you call us if this guy comes back into the casino.
Yeah. Do you think Prison Break guy is the billionaire? I guess the billionaire wouldn't do his own dirty work. Never mind. I've answered my own question. Carry on.
Okay.
Cool.
Back at Rancho Rosa estate, and the kid across the street, in the house with the addict mother, walks outside and goes to Dougie's car and actually tries to take the bomb off. But when he goes there, that black car rolls up again, and they just basically throw rocks at him, and he runs away. And then they try to steal the car, and it blows up.
Karma, right?
Yeah, so I guess they didn't put the bomb there then.
No, the people in the
No,
black
because-
car are just trying to steal the car. Yeah, they've got nothing to do with the bomb. It's the other two
The
dudes.
bomb was the other people. Yeah.
But there were two.
Sean.
I thought they were all just the same gangsters.
No.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't take them to be the same, but it would explain why they didn't know the bomb was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
They
the
did
two
two
people
separate
who
drive-bys.
the two people who managed to survive that freak out and drive away. Too bad for their friends.
That are burning to death.
And there were also people in the front yard across the street just watching it happen.
Yeah.
Yep. They came out awfully quickly after the explosion. It felt like they were already there. They were out there for the music.
Yeah.
It is America. They were probably
You know
filming
how
it on
expensive
YouTube.
ambulances are?
How did you say how quiet ambulances are?
No, how expensive they are. You can't just go calling them. What if that person doesn't have insurance? You'd bankrupt them.
That's true. That is very true. Well, and then if they don't have insurance, they'll have to go to the next hospital, so...
That is really scary. That ambulance is not something that you can subscribe to for $60 a year to not have to pay $4,000 a trip.
I mean, you can subscribe to it, I'm sure, but it's not $60 a year.
I'd like to subscribe to an ambulance, please.
Mine is. Mine.
No. I mean, in America.
Oh, in America. Okay.
Yeah.
They also have
It's
the
free in
paramedics
Queensland.
are attached to the fire people, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they don't have them as 3
Ambulances
different
are-
services.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, I didn't
Well,
know.
paramedics
County you
work
live in.
out of fire stations. They're not the same people.
That doesn't happen here, does it? Here they work out of hospitals, don't they?
No, there's an ambulance station across from my house.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Just in case you need it.
Saying on the internet.
And this is Katie's address.
Yeah, Harley all the time. Guys, it is.
We cut to a car wash, and Jade arrives to pick her car up. One of the staff give her the key to the Great Northern that Dougie had, and Betty dropped in the car, and she just drops it in a mailbox. So I'm assuming that's something that happens in America. They're just like, oh, we'll
It
just.
had a mail too.
Oh, did it?
It had a mail too on
On the
that
back, yeah,
key, so you
return
could. I mean, I think normally you would put it on an envelope, but there's no
Yeah.
reason why you couldn't just do that, I guess.
And so the American Postal Service is just like, yeah, hey guys, let's just do it. Let's send it
We
back.
don't want them to
See what
pay. They
happens.
don't have to.
Yeah, they
We'll
were
do a freebie for this one.
Rain, hail, or shine.
Yep. We cut to Norma at the diner, and this is the first time we've seen Norma in the new season, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because you told us she was dead in real life at this time.
Yeah, whoops. I thought we weren't going to discuss that again, but okay.
My apologies.
A young...
edited out of 2 places.
Yeah, thanks, Katie.
Yeah, right.
You've just reduced the likelihood of me even editing it now. A young girl arrives, and Norma calls out someone, I can't remember the guy's name, that the bread's here.
Sorry, who is the young girl that arrives?
Was it Becky?
It is Becky.
It's Becky, but did you recognize the actress?
Who it was?
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I recognize. Yeah, she was in Mean
Amanda
Girls.
Seyfried.
That's her. Yeah,
She's like, it feels like
Who?
it's gonna rain.
Amanda Seyfried. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been in a few. She was in Mean Girls, and she was very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's been
I
in
did
a
watch
bunch
that recently because Katie
And
was talking
Les
about
Mis.
it, but I still didn't recognize her.
Yeah, I like her thing where they're on the phone and she's like, yeah, one of the girls says, oh, you shouldn't go hang out with her, she's a bitch, and then she switches phones like, oh, I can't go now, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
All right, let's just talk about Mean Girls, guys.
It's way better than Twin Peaks.
Nah.
It is. We should do a call back on that one. But yeah.
So yeah, it's Becky. We don't immediately know that it's Becky, but Shelley comes and starts talking to her. We only see this from Norma's perspective. We can sort of hear it a little bit as well, but she's basically asking for money, and Shelley gives her some money, and she says, "This is all I've got." And Becky leaves, and so we see Becky's boyfriend is Stephen from earlier on, the one that got rejected for the job. And they're literally sitting right outside, and Norma and Shelley are just standing there staring at them. So weird. Becky gets back in the car with Stephen, and they're talking, and he's like, "Oh, how much money did you get?" and everything. And he's like, and then after like a minute, they realize, "Oh, they're standing right there staring at us." So he drives away.
He just drives like 3 meters around the corner.
Yeah.
Becky is Shelley's daughter, right?
It appears that way. Otherwise, why would she be giving her a water?
Yeah, and we've heard from like the first or the second episode. Yeah,
I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, it was in either the end of the first or second episode when we saw that Shelley was at the bar. She mentioned Becky.
Do you reckon it's
her daughter?
Bobby offspring?
Guess we'll find out.
Or it could be Leo's.
Norma and Shelley have a chat about Becky.
I don't know if Leo is alive or dead or still stuck with spiders on his head.
Look forward to it.
He had the opportunity beforehand to impregnate her.
So apparently he's on drugs, and she takes some too, and then they drive away, and we get this whole extended sequence of her looking up into the sky, and and some music.
Very, very long sequence.
Veronica Mars, Lily.
Yeah,
it was quite a different shot though. Like it was shot like it looked quite different than the rest of the show.
Oh, just the way it was shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had plenty of time to think about things like that because nothing was happening.
Where was I? It's evening, and we see Cooper in a lift with the files in his arms as it goes down. And this is another one of those ones where it's like, normally a director would be like, okay, it's second floor, first floor, but no, we're going from the 5th floor. And this is the scene where everybody's facing the door except him. Yeah.
No one's talking, and it's boring.
So when it arrives at the ground floor, they all start complaining as he doesn't move. He eventually gets outside, and he's just standing at the statue from before. We cut to the Twin Peaks Sheriff Station, and Hawk and Andy are perusing the Sarah Palmer case files. And this is another scene that goes a little bit longer than it needs to. And Andy's basically ends up saying, "Have you found anything to any Indians yet?" It's just like really culturally insensitive.
Well, they're looking for something that's missing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But if it's missing, they're not going to find it.
When they opened with Andy and Hawk, I'm like, is Hawk going to have to go through all of the ones Andy's looking at too? Because he's just looking at the pictures. He's not doing anything.
I think Andy just found it. That's the whole point, isn't it? He's found what's missing.
Has he?
There was no Indians.
Oh, well, maybe it can't be right the way you're talking. I assumed that the whole point of the scene was the thing that is missing is that there's not Indians in whatever they're looking at.
No.
That's not how I took it. I just took it as they're still looking, basically. That's how I took it. But I guess time will tell, Michael. Cut to the trailer that Jacoby lives in. For some reason I wrote looks good instead of lives in, but whatever. He has a radio internet / internet
he looks
show.
Great in this episode.
And he calls himself Dr. Amp.
Bloody everyone's got a video podcast now, don't they?
Yeah, seriously. That's why I'm
subscribe.
So the whole thing is like all anti-establishment, but it's mainly a vehicle through which he sells his golden shovels, which he says that you should shovel yourself out of the shit. So while he's doing his show, we have a shot of Jerry, who's out in the forest still, by the way.
Jerry, who's Jerry?
Ben's brother,
the brother.
Jerry. Remember, he's lost in the woods. Do you guys forget already? He's not been found. Just FYI.
I thought he was lost in the woods.
Me either.
Last time I saw him, he was
at the hotel.
Ben's office.
Yeah.
We did see him.
When did he get lost?
I thought we saw the scene where he's lost in the woods, where he calls Benjamin and says, "I think I'm lost." Anyway, we see him in the woods, and he's watching the show on his mobile phone. And he's like, yeah, and eating something.
Clearly
no,
he
he's
hasn't been
lighting
lost
up
for long, he's got charge.
He's lighting something up. Maybe he's not lost in the woods yet. Okay, that makes sense.
Wasn't he when he was in the office? Wasn't he talking about drugs then?
Yeah, he was talking about how he made his weed cookies or something.
Yeah.
We also see Nadine for the first time.
Curtain pirate.
Unfortunately, she doesn't do any weightlifting during this scene, but
No.
and she is
anything.
She's watching adoringly. She loves
she's eating
this show. Jacoby's.
Disappointed in you, Nadine.
I wonder how many golden shovels she already has.
Jacoby's very angry and actually works himself up to a point where he has to stop and take a drink, and he talks about he comments about the drink and how it's not acai berries or something. It's some bullshit. I just love it.
It's like buckwheat and water or something.
The shovel ad and his rant were the same video, correct? Or they would? I thought she was watching.
He cut to basically the pre-recorded video he'd done of the shovels. That's what he did. Yeah. So, and I put a comment: you too can dig yourself out of the shit for $29.99 plus shipping. So we cut to a military officer,
and so that all just seems to be there just for the purpose of getting old characters in.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It sounds like you're saying it's going to become relevant later. If that was like a 7-minute YouTube video, you would not sit there and watch all 6 or 7 minutes.
Definitely.
You would flick to something else.
Definitely.
You'd just buy a shovel and move on, right?
Yeah, like, what is money even for except to buy shit shovels that are spray painted gold? 2 coats, guaranteed, by the way. We cut to a military officer, and I'm pretty sure that this was the guy that came to the base in the first or the second. Sorry, came to the police station when Major Briggs reappeared at some stage during season 2.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the same guy.
Yes, I thought he was familiar. Yeah.
So someone comes in, and her name's Cindy, and she's talking about how there's been a hit on Major Briggs's fingerprints again. So she basically gets sent off, and so apparently this is just something that they do every time they get a hit. They go and investigate who was trying to find Major Briggs to find out to check the veracity of the search or whatever it was. So I guess look forward to it.
I thought they had legitimately found his fingerprints pinged up in the system.
Oh no, it
had been flagged.
They've got his fingerprints, but remember, I think it was last episode they were at the police station. They'd found a match, but it was blocked by the military.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just one of those things where it's like, if someone basically wanted to do a supercut of the show and just rearrange all the scenes, it'd probably make a lot more sense and be easier to follow. But that's not how David Lynch does things. Okay. So Cindy is off to Buckhorn, South Dakota. We cut to the bar in Twin Peaks, and we see a young guy sitting alone in a booth smoking while there is a sign right next to him saying no smoking.
Yeah, can I tell you, at this point, because the band was playing, I thought this was the end of the episode, and I was so excited because every episode has ended in this bar with the band singing.
Yep.
And I haven't caught on to it until this episode, and it was a fucking lie.
Look at David Lynch subverting your expectations.
With this charming fellow.
Crushing my hopes and dreams.
Yeah, this is a real nice guy. So someone comes over, one of the girls at the the seats next to him is like just looking over. And a guy comes over and says, "There's no smoking here. Put out the cigarette." And eventually someone else comes over, and it's Chad, the deputy. Chad from the sheriff's office.
Oh.
The one that was making fun of Lucy and Andy. You guys don't remember? It's him. No. Yeah, it's Chad.
Okay. When Bobby was crying, the one who was in there at the same time.
Yep.
I didn't realise it was him.
I didn't realise it was the same. I guess he's been lighting as security.
So he says, "I'll take care of this," and he asks for a smoke, and then this guy, who we don't know his name, gives him the whole packet. So maybe I thought, is there something in the packet? Is this like a setup or something? I don't really.
Spoilers.
What? I don't know.
And then the packet was full of.
He opens the packet.
Oh, you must have been writing, Ben.
I was writing. Yeah.
He opens the packet and it's only got cash in it.
Oh, okay.
While Ben is writing, I wonder if there was anything in it.
Yeah.
And they're showing
I
us
could
the
have
cash on screen.
rewound it, but I'm also like, I need to get
Yeah,
this
they didn't
done.
tell us.
Yeah, I knew you guys would pipe up and let me know, don't worry.
I thought you were just doing that for suspense.
No, I totally wasn't.
Yeah, me too.
So he's on the take, or
apparently, yeah.
some sort of
Or he's
This random dude.
acceptable.
Yeah, Chad is more endearing than before. One of the girls from the next booth asks for a light, and he says, "Come over," and then he says, "Sit here," and then he grabs her, and a whole thing ensues. Basically, he doesn't have any respect for women, basically at all.
And I'm like, kick him in the balls, or just like grab him and
and there's
pull
one
him
point
out
where
like
he's got
a
his hand
stabbing-
around a throat, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
He's
not
also
nice.
not in a dark
Should've-
alley. Like,
Yeah.
he's in a bar.
Yeah, and
where
everybody else is just like,
people
man.
around, and everybody's just chill. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
and there was men in the one beside him. One guy looked and he's like as if silly woman kind of thing, and turns back around.
yeah.
it was weird.
We cut to the FBI. Oh, sorry, I said she says cut to FBI Tammy, just in case you guys didn't remember. Tammy was FBI.
She has eyebrows.
swinging hips.
Did anyone else notice her eyebrows?
I did notice her eyebrows actually.
What was wrong with her eyebrows?
Nothing. They were just
angry.
They were just very eyebrows.
They were.
Oh, okay, I missed that. All right. She's.
Yes,
No, I just thought, I wouldn't have noticed before. Like, I don't know. It's
Because we were too busy looking at her swaying hips.
Yeah, we didn't get to see her hips in this.
Yeah,
one.
real loss there. She's looking at a photo of Cooper from back in the day, and she's reading case files, and she's basically comparing the photo of Cooper from back in 25 years ago and Doppelkoop. She also has Doppelkoop's fingerprints and compares them with Cooper's fingerprints from 25 years ago. And if you're observant enough, you would have noticed that I think it's one finger is different. It's like
I did not
mirrored.
notice that.
I mean,
No,
she
I just
kind of
went,
gave it away
okay,
by
she's
staring
comparing.
at it continuously.
Yeah, it was just one
Like-
finger.
Made the assumption.
And hey, turns
one
out they use
finger.
Macs.
That's sad, isn't
It was
it?
a Mac.
Okay, so
Why one finger though? What have we seen that alludes to only one finger?
Did he chop his finger off? Did he get
Finger that had the ring on it?
Maybe. Which finger was it, Ben?
I think it was the index finger.
This little finger on the right.
Yeah. What did we work out before, Ben, that you didn't know there's the thing of? Oh.
Nursery rhyme.
Probably that
It
was.
Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. Ben did not know that.
It doesn't even
I mean, I
rhyme.
didn't know there was
Well,
more
another
after
one.
Peter Pumpkin Eater, so
It doesn't even rhyme.
Although it
It's
just
weird.
ended.
The rhythm is just all wrong. Anyway, so we cut to Doppelkoop, and the warden enters the room, plugging a phone in, telling him he has one phone call, and Doppelkoop calls him warden. I can't remember his actual name, sorry, but he actually calls him his name. And I vaguely recall that the warden had like a slight reaction, but then just walked off anyway. And from that, I sort of took it as he didn't expect that he would know who he is. So the warden goes off into another room, and they're basically recording everything. Doppelkoop starts saying, "Now that everyone's here, I'm going to make my phone call. Now, who should I call? Should I call Mr. Strawberry?" And the warden reacts to this immediately, and he's like, "What the hell?"
But it looked like he knew a Mr. Strawberry, and he was like, in shock.
And then he says,
I wondered if that was related to, how they said, they were talking about how he'd been sent off, he was claiming to have been sent off to do drug stuff. But then that once they told some guy, when they told David Bowie about a name of one of their contacts.
Philip Jeffries. Philip Jeffries, yeah.
So I assume Mr. Strawberry was related to Philip Jeffries.
Okay. So Cooper goes on and says, "No, I don't think I will." So I'm finding my spot again. "I don't think I'll call Mr. Strawberry. I don't think he's taking calls." And for me, that he's sort of implying that Mr. Strawberry is dead.
Yeah, so maybe it's that contact that got killed after someone told Doppelkoop about him.
So Cooper picks up the phone and just starts dialing like crazy, man. He is nuts over these numbers. He just keeps on dialing. And then...
nuts in general.
Yeah, the security system at the prison just starts going haywire, and the footage on the screens just starts showing completely different things, and alarms are going off everywhere.
And lights flashing, strobing.
Yeah.
Disappointingly, none of the screens showed the Red Room.
That is a disappointment.
That would have been perfect time.
In the room with Doppelcoop, we see he says into the phone, the cow jumped over the moon, and then he just hangs up. And as soon as he does, everything just goes back to normal in the security room. We then cut back to the device that beeped earlier when the woman sent the message through with her blueberry, and it beeps and then just shrinks. A BlackBerry, sorry, BlackBerry. Back in the day, they didn't have electronics. They had to use fruit to send messages.
This is my favourite thing.
So it just sort of instantly shrinks to a tiny little thing.
A blueberry
then.
I mean, it might be. You never know. Okay.
Mike,
you're muted, Michael.
We can hear you on chance.
We also saw that was in Argentina or something, right? Or was that later?
Did we?
I think that was then. Oh. That they put words on the screen saying where it was, and it was South America somewhere.
Oh man, you see, I missed that again.
Ben.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Good pickup. So we know that the drug deal happened in South America. That drug thing that we heard about.
Okay, we do now.
Okay, I didn't put those two things together, but
no,
sure.
You don't. So don't you remember when Albert was telling what's his name? The character that David Lynch plays.
Yep, shouty guy.
Gordon, thank you very much. Yeah, so when Albert's telling Gordon about what he did, which is so Philip Jeffries called him and got information about an operative of theirs in South America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I'm taking it to mean these are the same people. So when they say South America, this is Argentina. Because I just want to be sure, I'm not great with geography. Argentina is in South America, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, wrong. Incorrect.
Okay. I'm not trusting you, Katie. All right.
We know how good Americans are at geography.
Yeah,
they know everything.
They think it's in Australia.
Down in the Gulf of America.
Yeah. Oh, it's part of America, isn't it?
And that northern state, the one right up the top.
The big one. That's the same size.
Yeah.
We got back to Cooper, who's still standing out the statue. It's basically nearly pitch black outside his office now. And security's basically telling him, move along, there's no loitering here. And
clearly the guy only just got there because he's been loitering for like 5 hours.
He's like, did you just start or something? And that was the end of the episode.
Hooray.
Yeah.
I was wondering how much more was left. I thought, oh, geez, I don't remember much more.
Yeah, that was it. So that's episode 5, guys. On to episode 6. Very excited. I am definitely
last time.
Because I know what's coming, so I'm very excited. I know
Are you excited about this episode, or should I lower my expectations for the upcoming episode?
I wasn't as excited for that episode that we just watched, but I will tell you that
the next one's more
dots
than an email.
are connecting. That if you guys can't see dots connecting, then you're blind.
Well, then I'm blind.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ben, we're not even noticing all of the dots.
See, even Mocker's sick of this shit.
About the dots.
We're distracted by him holding his junk all the time.
So hold on. So when we went to the military guy, so we know.
Well, Bobby said his dad died in a fire the day after Cooper disappeared. So.
Yes, exactly. So something's going on there. So what? So are we saying now that body is Major Briggs?
Oh,
I don't know. Are we saying that?
Because I mean, they pinged. They were searching the fingerprints of the body, and they got they found a match that was blocked by the military, and then we see this scene later on saying someone was pinging for Major Briggs who got a positive, and then he sends her off to Buckhorn, South Dakota. So I mean, what does that tell you?
They also said it's not the first time it's happened. They've had like 11 or 15 pings in the last 25 years on his fingerprints. And were going to go investigate it because they had to, not because they believed it was him.
You know what?
Was it the
Someone's gone
body
and merged
physically?
records on all of the fingerprints that have been blocked by the FBI. Someone's gone and merged those, and you can't tell which of these secret people it is. That's one new theory.
Okay.
So anyone who's ever been, in witness protection or whatever, they just come up as blocked. And some idiot one day was cleaning up files and merged the records, and you can't tell whether it's Major Briggs or just one of the other people.
Someone pressed merge.
Yeah, it checks out.
One thing I forgot to mention is that at the end of that scene where Cindy is getting sent off and he's like, "Oh, fly first class," she's like, "Ha, very funny." He does actually say, "Just remember, if this turns out to be real, we need to let the FBI know."
But he says, if this turns out to be real, but it's not, we need to,
Yeah.
He was doing the whole.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Oh, that's right. And that guy looked familiar too. Where did we?
He's been in
figure out
lots
he
of
was from?
other stuff.
Ghostbusters.
Yes, it's Ghostbusters.
That was the main one.
That's not what I knew him
No.
from there.
We've seen him from.
He's been in lots.
Oh, we knew him from. He was in Grace and Frankie.
Yes.
He was the
in Grace and Frankie.
gardener guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which guy?
The hippie boyfriend with the drugs.
Frankie's
Oh, yep.
boyfriend.
Terrible.
So there's definitely more lines being drawn, but I because we're still in the first half of the season, I don't want to go into it too much. But things are starting to connect up. So the lines are slowly starting to draw together.
I don't really know what we're supposed to be connecting.
Yeah.
I think is my issue. Like
If we watch the whole thing and then come back and watch it again 5 years later, we might understand.
Or just 2 days later, like I did.
No, we've got to watch all of the whole thing.
Okay, all right. I'll end it here. Thank you very much, guys. I'll be back in time to do next week's. So until then.
So we don't get a week off.
That's right. No week off. No break for you guys.
The punishment continues.
I can't do next Thursday or Wednesday. Sorry, that's our concert nights.
Looks like we're getting a week off.
Hooray.
Sorry.
Unless we can do the weekend, but no, let's not do the weekend.
No, it's long weekend. I'll be busy.
Next weekend.
This weekend.
This weekend is long weekend.
No, I meant next weekend.
Ben's already busy.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I thought you were going
I'm glad
up
we're
north.
still recording for
Yeah,
this one.
we're still recording this. And internet, I am going away this weekend.
Enjoy.
But it's okay, his house won't be vacant, so don't go breaking in.
Yeah.
The house will be protected by
To his house that is at.
No, you'll have to do some edits. Nice one, kid.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Was I pixelated for anyone else?